We have breaking news. The White House has just praised yet another record-breaking week for the Dow Jones. Consumer confidence is at a 7-year high. NBS.
Hello, Barry. I hope I'm not interrupting your evening. It looks like NBS is reporting some really great news. But have you noticed the fairly large pig in the parlor?
You mean Fed Pig? She's been here about 6 years now. I've just started looking around her. She's really no bother.
Do you know what it is that Fed Pig does?
Well, besides being well-fed, she does stuff with our money and makes sure no one goes broke, like the banks.
Well, that's what most people think. But have you noticed what she's been up to in the last few years?
Besides getting bigger?
Actually, exactly that. You see, Fed has been creating money with no tangible asset behind it, or fiat money, for quite some time. Up until about 2008, she wasn't so big. But since then, your Fed Pig has created several trillions of dollars out of thin air, all of which produce dangerously inflated asset markets, or so-called bubbles.
Wow, that's a bit spooky, but it ain't Halloween, so what's that mean to me?
Good question. Here is how she is making things hard for you and your future generations. So when the Fed Pig prints money, she creates it electronically so it is easy to move and doesn't cost anything. She then uses the money to buy bonds from wherever she can find them, typically found at large investment banks. The investment banks then take the cash she's given them to purchase stocks on Wall Street. While many of the stocks offered have little value that would warrant a purchase, these investment banks could care less. Essentially, they've been receiving free money to buy stocks, whether good or bad, forcing them up to make more money. This has gone on for 6 years. A massive bubble of unprecedented expansion is the result. Bubbles, however, burst, and this one is no exception. In fact, the current stock bubble is close to 10 times greater than the bubble that burst in 1929, preceding our Great Depression.
Why aren't NBS or any of the other news stations talking about this? What happens next?
Eventually, like all bubbles, they burst. The internet tech bubble in 2000, the real estate bubble in 2007. The economy takes a massive hit and the consumer and individual investor gets the brunt of it. What we are looking at here has the potential to be a lot bigger and far more widespread than before. In addition to internet tech and housing, we'll have the bond market to worry about. So investors and savers could be decimated, like before, with losses of 50% or more, in more areas than one. And if the bond market bursts, the dollar may eventually go with it. In light of the gigantic mountains of new dollars created since the last crisis, the dollar and every other paper currency is no longer a viable safe haven. Smart investors and savers are not waiting for the next knockout punch to hit their savings. They are repositioning their assets now into the only true safe haven.
I've got IRAs, 401ks and such. I think they're all tied up in the paper markets. What am I supposed to do before the stock bubble bursts?
That's a great question. The whole matter certainly makes you think about your future, doesn't it? There are other alternatives. Give McAlvany ICA a call now, and one of our metals experts can start answering your questions immediately to help you lay out solid strategies to stem the impending flood. Call us right now for a free general portfolio review. That number is 800-525-9556. McAlvany.com. Simple answers to tough money questions. Period.